Disclaimer: the contents of this podcast do not constitute medical or professional advice and do not reflect the opinions of the affiliates, promotional sponsors, or partners or advertising agencies, and only reflects the opinions of the members and guests. This podcast contains explicit content and offends everyone equally. VTSR expressly disclaims any and all liability relating to any actions taken or not taken based on any or all contents of this podcast. We disclaim any responsibility. Listen at your own risk. Main sponsors: Nous, Defions Group, LLC, for all your training, consulting, and special operations solutions needs for military, law enforcement, and private clients. Uptown Auto Glass, for all your glass needs, located in Columbus, Georgia. A-Tacs Camo, you won't even see them coming.
Sing it with me. Those that have come and gone, sing it with me. Those left to carry on, raise your voices high. Those who serve and those who die, raise your voices high. And sing a gunfighter lullaby.
Take it away, JP.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Veterans Transition Support Recon Show, VTSR. And later on, we're going to introduce our guest for tonight, which is going to be Tank Rick Ferran from Uncle Sam's Nation, or Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. But first, let's do right. First of all, how are you doing, Mike? How you doing in the hotel room?
Well, as you can see, I got the curtains pulled. So, oh wait, never mind. Doing really good actually. Salt Lake City doing some work. Obviously working with the military still.
Nice.
But on the flip side, back home, apparently, my house pretty much kissed Hurricane Sally. It pulled in right north of Pensacola and right south of my house. So I mean, it was a little hairy, scary for a little bit there. But luckily, no major damage, nothing substantial. So I think we got away pretty clean.
Cool.
Just power still out. That's about it.
All right, brother. And before I forget, because I always forget shit with TBI, we all got that. We want to thank our main sponsors, Nous, Defions Group, LLC, for your tactical training and consulting needs. www.nousdefionsgroup.com, or actually nousdefionsgrp.com. And Uptown Auto Glass, located in Columbus, Georgia, for all your auto glass needs. Contact Javi and tell him you heard about them on VTSR. Use code VTSR 15 to receive a 15% discount. It's www.uptownautoglassga, as Georgia.com, or 706-681-6309. And actually, Javi fixed my windshield so I can, and my side mirror as well, so I can tell you they do amazing work. And of course, A-Tacs Camo, true advanced tactical concealment system. They provide the best camo patterns in the market, so visit atacs.com for more information. We want to remind everyone that sponsorship and advertising opportunities are available. Contact Carla or Nate at vtsr@protonmail.com. All right, you can listen to us on Spotify, podcast, Apple Podcasts, and now, for the first time, boys and girls, we're finally on YouTube. Oh, buddy.
We are real.
So now you can see our ugly faces while you're listening to the podcast. It's fucking awesome. I love it. Oh, look at Nate. Hold on. I got to get ready to start this podcast, right? Hold on.
This isn't even mine. I'm actually hiding in Mike's closet in this hotel room. This is his beard brush.
Where are you at?
It's very soft.
So anyways, guys, this past weekend, our guest that is going to come in the next few minutes. Well, actually, he's here. He's just not talking right now, but in the next few minutes, I was hanging out with him at the Tactical Games. We had a great time. We hung out with a lot of the friends that we already know, and I mean, all of us know from Tactical Games. And let me tell you, it's great to see friends again, man. It's like some people travel from one state to another one, or, from Canada. Oh no, my bad. nobody can come from Canada right now. From other places just to hang out with friends, man. So it was a pretty good time. Oh man, I really miss hanging out with all those crazy people, man. It's just so much fun, man. Nate, we did miss you at the tactical games, and no, we didn't.
I actually know that there's some people that missed me because some bets had been made. Some people wanted some film to be filmed, and okay, so they wanted film of the action on the actual events, not anywhere else, you know. So I know I was missed because people were asking for advice. They're asking for coaching. They're like, "How are you going to approach this one?" I'm like, "Brah, I'm not even there right now." And they're like, "I swear I can see you." And I'm like, "If you can see me, I can smell you, and I can't smell you. But I'm thinking about you." So anyways, no, I missed being there, and being stuck in Canada sucks. But I did go to the gym and take a friend of mine, and who was like, he was supposed to come down with me. It was supposed to be his first games. So I ran him through some stuff at our local gym, and there's footage of that. He did not die this time, but he had fun, and he's pumped for when we can get down there. And all I could think was the first time that you and I had met Rick, and that was in Atlanta, I believe. And it was at the top of the long run and everything. I think that's where we met him.
No, his first tactical games was actually North Carolina.
Was that the one?
Last year. Yeah, last year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because it wasn't this year that I met him, because I hadn't left
that's
home.
what I'm saying. It's like the first, last year.
Yeah, we met him because he had his friend with him and stuff. So anyways, when we met him, I remember that meeting because it was very good, but I'll save that for another time. And I'm just going to keep talking because I missed all the excitement. And I saw lots of pictures of people saying, "Hey, wish you were here." And I was like, I wish I was there too.
Yeah, but you were over there in Canada doing, like, I don't know, fighting moose or something.
No, I was turning in my ARs, and I was, not buying ammo and stuff. So anyways, I'm glad you guys had a good time. Am I jealous? Absolutely. Because every time I've gone to the tactical games in that community, those people, those like-minded stuff, it's just a lot of fun, and it's spiritual. So I'm looking forward to getting back to shooting competitions and getting down to the South, the land of freedom. I miss it.
By the way, I like that shirt that you're wearing.
Yes, and that's another thing that I'm upset about is I am supposed to be in Myrtle Beach with you this weekend for a project that we have both worked and supported for the last year with Battle Buddy 3-gun. And I am going to get a little sad about this because it has been such a journey helping our friend Jeff at Lima Charlie Clothing Company that Mike knows as well and is part of. And we support Jeff with everything he wants to do. And this Battle Buddy 3-gun is very
walking.
Yeah, he can't walk away from me no matter what he says.
That's true.
So with Lima Charlie, the clothing company that actually provides the 3 of our signature shirts, he's got his competition this weekend kicking off for his stuff, and it's this weekend, Myrtle Beach. It starts tomorrow morning, and it's Saturday as well. And I'm very sad I won't be there, but I am rocking the special operations shirt. I'll stand up a little bit. Yeah. So it's special ops, okay? And it's the guy in the wheelchair, because it's not making fun of it. It's showing that those guys can still stay in the fight and get out there and compete and have some fun. And those that are listening that don't quite understand it, go look at Battle Buddy 3-gun.
Yeah.
And what happens is that at least one stage, everybody, able-bodied or not, goes through that one stage in a wheelchair.
Yeah, so check him out. Battle Buddy 3-gun is on Instagram as well. And real quick, you're gonna have paralyzed, not necessarily vets. It can be anyone.
Yeah, anybody.
And they're gonna be in the wheelchair, and of course they're gonna be an able body, which will be their partner.
Yes.
So you're gonna have somebody that can actually walk and run and all that, and then the guy in the wheelchair, and they'll be going through stages together. And then there's gonna be a few stages where even the able body gotta be on a wheelchair. Yeah. And do it the same way. So it's pretty cool. It's a new concept. Is trying to get people out of their homes and understanding that hey, you're in a wheelchair, you can still go out and have fun, right?
Yeah, get off the couch, get out there, stay dirty, do
Yeah.
fun stuff. And the original intent was that JP and I were going to go validate all the stages and push each other around and do all that fun stuff and prove that point. And that's what Battle Buddy 3 Gun is about, is getting off the couch, staying active, staying dirty, and being around like-minded people. And and just so people know, JP, that it is actually a nonprofit charity organization.
That's right.
And that's the other thing about it, is that it's there to raise funds to get people out there.
Yeah, so go and check them out. I'll be there actually tomorrow and Saturday. Unfortunately, by the time that the podcast come out, it'll probably be already past that time.
Yeah.
But when you listen to this, please go out, check out Battle Buddy 3 Gun, check out all the pictures that they're gonna post from the event, and support Buddy Jeff and a great, it's just a great thing that he's doing, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people.
And buy a shirt. If you can reshare the post and buy a shirt, you're already kicking ass in the right way.
Anyways, before we get started and introduce our guests here, I got to talk about this amazing. Oh,
JP, I heard you got something interesting this weekend. Now,
it's called Grizzly Ears. Let me tell you, and I know that our guest knows this very well. I know that Mike, you own a pair of this, right?
I do.
So tell me about it, JP. Forget them. Tell me about it.
So Grizzly Ears, let me tell you, advanced hearing technology. These little puppies right here are amazing, bro. You take these puppies right here. They come with their own little charger, right?
What does it come with?
Charger. And they fit great in your ear. And when you turn them on, they actually got noise cancellation and all that good stuff. So when you go to the range, instead of wearing that big freaking pelters, or your little foamies, which they don't allow you to actually listen to people talking.
Yeah.
But then these ones as well, you can connect Bluetooth and listen to music while you're shooting at the range if you want.
And look at that. Like, you have big ears and that thing just disappears right in there.
Oh, because I took it out, dummy.
Oh, okay. But when you're shooting,
but there we go. There we go. I mean, look how small they are.
Oh, dude, you can still get a proper cheek rest on the. Oh, that's amazing. So
if you guys don't own a pair of this, you need to get yourself some Grizzly Ears. Let me tell you, this is good. Great company.
I also heard something today on Instagram when I was going through, because I've been talking to Grizzly for a while, but we have a hard time in Canada getting stuff. And I noticed that there was a company that has made them the official ears for all their operators today.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really neat. So you should really check that out. This organization does some direct action stuff, and all their guys now are supposed to be rocking Grizzly Ears. So I'm actually going to apply for a position at that company just so I can get the Grizzly Ears.
Let me talk about one of my experiences with Grizzly Ears. Is I've had mine for a while now, but recently the case stopped, I guess closing properly, so it wasn't really charging or disconnecting from the phone. And all I did was send an email out. Within a week, I had a replacement case, man. So I mean, great company to interact with if you have any issues whatsoever.
Wow, that's awesome that they support it like that, because the biggest problem in all of our stuff going on in the world is the resupply and stuff. And when your gear breaks and you need that kit replaced, if that company's not willing to stand behind their product, that's very disheartening. But to hear that Grizzly Ears is within a week sorting you out, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty all right, man. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Nice. So Grizzly Ears available at grizzlyears.com, is it?
That's I believe so. Yes.
We'll confirm that.
Grizzly. Sorry, guys, I got to jump in if you guys let me talk. But Grizzly dash, whatever it's called, little thing, the little line.
Yeah, the little line. Yeah, dash.
In the ears.com.
Ears.com. I appreciate it. So, anyways, guys, we all know that VTSR is about helping people, sharing our stories, and making sure that people don't cash out. And we all struggle. Been struggling for a while, right? We've been struggling our entire lives, but we've struggled with our own issues, right? And our guest tonight, man, he got an amazing story. Our guest tonight is a communist survivor. He joined the Marine Corps. He got his own podcast. He battled, anxiety, depression, and all that good stuff. And but he's still out there kicking ass, helping people. He's an athlete at the tactical games as well. He's an advocate for, suicide prevention. And let me tell you, this guy is amazing. And I need everyone out there to hear his story, because by the way, it's Rick Ferran, and Rick Ferran is also, he's the one that runs Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. So if you are not following him on Instagram, actually that page was taken down, damn it. So it's Uncle Sam's Misguided Children though, apparel. And then Uncle Sam's Nation is his Instagram handle, and we're going to put it in the description here. But without any further ado, Tank, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. It's an honor once again to be in your show. It's just I'm humble, to be part of the part of you guys' team, and just appreciate the opportunity, man. What you guys are doing and just trying to get the message out there is unbelievable, phenomenal. So I feel humble. I feel like the little guy hanging out with giants, because you guys are giants to me. You guys are heroes to me, and I just appreciate your service, bro.
When you saying giant, you didn't look at Mike for some reason.
Well, Mike is a giant. Mike is a bad. No. I seen Mike at the tactical games. He's a bad mofo,
No,
appreciate it.
He looks like Santa Claus. He looks like Santa Claus without a belly, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But he will smoke you,
Oh no,
it's a tactical clause to you.
Hey, that could be a T-shirt. That could be a T-shirt, man. Tactical clause.
Tactical clause. There you go. Hey, nobody used that. That's it.
I'm gonna hook it up, bro. I'm gonna send you a T-shirt, bro.
Hook it up. Tactical clause.
Some's in the works. Some's in the works right now. A little bit towards that. Yeah.
Anyway, so hey, Tank. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I already said it. You come from, you're a communist survivor and all that. But tell us a little bit about yourself, about your story, where you grew up, and take us all the way until when you joined the military.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Well, I was born in Cuba in 1975, and as you know, Cuba is a communist country. My history of my family is that my grandfather, my grandparents, and great grandparents, the family tradition, they owned a lot of farms. Right before Castro took over, they owned pharmacies, etc. They were very wealthy indeed. As a matter of fact, my grandfather knew Castro. They went to school with each other. They knew their family. And so when Castro took over, he took over all the businesses and properties and whatnot. My grandfather was an American citizen because he had to travel back and forth between the United States and Cuba for businesses reasons. And so he was able to escape. Castro gave people an ultimatum, says you guys can stay or you guys can leave. That was the first people that left was my grandfather and my uncle. He was only able to leave with my uncle at the time, hoping that he was able to bring back the rest of the family. But that never happened. My grandmother stayed back with my father, and my father was old enough to be drafted, so he had to stay back. So they ended up making a life in Cuba, while my grandfather made a life here in the United States, with my uncle separated from the family. When my father, living through communism, it's tough. Imagining the situation down there, lack of food, lack of medicine, et cetera. And my father was graduating university medical school. And his last weeks, medical school, they had some type of essay that they had to write, which was a letter to somebody outside the country, just a letter to somebody outside the country. My father, very naive at the time, thought he could write a letter to his sister in New York and tell her that, and this is complicated situation, but there was a stepsister, like half sister, but wrote a letter to her and telling her how the situation was in Cuba at the time, was very detailed about it. And the letter was given to the principal, and he called on to the militants, or a group of individuals in the Communist Party that go around giving people repudios and reputations, whatever they want to call it. But exactly what you're watching today. You know, if you guys are looking at the news today, what Antifa, Black Lives Matter is doing to people, how they go to their homes and how they stand outside their homes in the middle of the night. You know, for the most part, they're not being violent just yet, but they're getting to that point where they're actually being violent to those individuals. I think there was a house where they actually burned it down, and I'm not sure the details about it, but that is communism 101. That's exactly what the Communist Party did to us. That's exactly what the Communist Party did to my father. So when they found out that he wrote the letter, they almost lynched him. They grabbed the rope, they beat him up, hang him on top of a tree in the high school. I mean, a university, and then ripped him off his clothes, put him in the back of a truck, drove him around Santiago, Cuba, with a sign on his neck calling him warm. People were throwing stuff at him. It was the most horrific situation you can imagine. As a child, I still hear the stories, and I still remember very, very clearly how it was played out. And every weekend, my grandmother will go to see him. So that weekend, she would bring him food, different things she would cook, cookies, etc. You'll go see him. That was his graduation weekend, and she found him naked in front of the bus station, inside one of the bleachers, on top of one of the bleachers, and he had newspapers on top of him. She didn't know who. She thought it was a homeless man or somebody else, but she eventually, mothers know their son. They can tell who their son is without even having to know, and she knew it was him. So she brought him home, and it took him a while to get used to it. He met my mom. They got married. They had me. My father found another job as an accountant, and went to work for an accounting firm. He kept it all quiet. He kept it all, into himself, not telling people, who he was. So he kind of moved to Las Tunas, a new province, and started a new life. But somewhere down the line, he just said, I had enough. I'm going to go ahead and call my father, and I'm gonna apply for a visa. I'm gonna tell him that I want him to help me get out of here. So he called my grandfather. My grandfather said, no problem, I'm going to get you out of there. And this is how it goes in Cuba, man. If you're going to make a phone call internationally, all the phone calls are tapped. So he had to make that phone call internationally to the United States. And when he made that phone call, the Communist Party heard him. The minute they heard him, they put him on the list, and that militant group is back at it again. So they found where he worked. And I remember I was like 6 years old. And I remember this like if it was happened yesterday, man. I will never forget this ever in my life. And my father was was working, like I said, CPA accountant, and they came to his job. The manager was talking to the people. He came back to the office. He told my father, you need to leave right now. You need to grab your stuff and get the hell out of here from the back door, because they're out here and they're going to kill you. They got machetes. They're going to kill you. So my father grabbed his stuff and he left. My grandmother met somebody new. She which is actually what I actually call him my real grandfather, because I grew up with him. But she met somebody new. She made a new life, and the man that she was with was actually somebody that the province looked to him as a hero. He actually was the only one allowed to have a revolver. So he fought with Castro during the whatever, and everybody looked up to him. But he also had enough. He just couldn't talk about it. He didn't like he didn't like what things had happened. He thought it was things would have changed differently. But anyways, he had a lot of power in regards to what he had done. He was untouchable, because of his experience with Castro. So anyways, he got the call that they were after him. They were looking for him, and the whole town was literally on fire, just look, what was going on. It was chaotic. I heard a lot of yelling and screaming outside the house. I was staying with my grandmother at the time, and I walked outside, and I see a lot of people in the streets and people yelling and screaming. I couldn't understand what was going on, but over the hill, I see a man running with a suitcase and falling down the ground, suitcase papers coming off of the suitcase, and there was a truck right behind him. People yelling at him, throwing rocks, throwing stuff. And as he got closer, I realized it was my father. So I just froze, man. I don't know what to do, you know. My grandfather came out and with his revolver, and they were literally about to kill my father right there. And my grandfather was like, anybody touches him, I'm gonna kill him. And they said, you know, Jose, that's not your son. What do you even care? He's like, I don't care. You touch him, I'm gonna kill you. So he saved my father's life at that time. Then following day, I was 5 years old. My mom was pregnant with my little sister. The following day, they went after my mother. My mom actually worked for the government office, kind of like the town's, where you clerk's office, you know. So they went out. They actually sent a team. At that time, my grandfather did get the call. My step grandfather did get the call beforehand, and he went to pick her up. As he was picking her up, and she was like 6-7 months pregnant, the truck was coming in and parking right behind them, and they just took off. So everything got quiet for a while because they were staying with my grandfather. My grandfather was there. Nobody was going to touch him. And then we left to the apartment. We found our apartment condominium complex, and we moved in, and we started doing the paperwork to leave the country. So, during that time, man, it was constant repudios. It was constant, group of people coming to our houses, throwing eggs at the door, yelling, screaming. I was getting jumped every day from school. My little sister then started to go to school. I ended up having to fight every day to protect her. So it was it was always like that. It was always nonstop. My father had to take a job in construction, had to leave, for a period of time. And my mother had to figure out what to do and had to feed us. So it was like bargaining, the government will give you so much of soap or different things, and my mom will bargain some things for food. Somebody would need a toothpaste and she had extra toothpaste, she would bargain that. Or she knew somebody who had a toothpaste, but she had a soap bar and somebody else had some eggs, and she will kind of make the trade between the three people. And that's how she was able to provide for us and have at least one hot meal a day. And times we didn't have a hot meal a day. Times it was just, water and sugar. That was it. That was for dinner, man. I mean, I could hear my insides, like how you hear, when you're hungry, you hear that. When I was a little kid, I remember that very, very clearly. One time my mom, I'll give you an example. One time my mom was very frustrated, and I could only understand what a mom is going through, worrying about feeding her kids. And the refrigerator was completely empty. But I was so hungry. I just kept opening the refrigerator. And my mom just snapped, man. She just threw a broom over my head. She said, stop opening the refrigerator. And, I remember she cracked the back of my head, and my mom started crying. She started freaking out. She's like, oh my God. She took me to the hospital, losing her mind. So, I give her a lot of love, man, because, like without her, I don't know what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's tough cookie, tough woman. So things like that happen. And, eventually, man, we got the opportunity to come. We actually got the visa and to come to America. We had to go through the proper channels. I didn't come here in a banana boat. I didn't come here illegally. Even though my father ended up in jail a couple times, and he was, in fact, looked as a political prisoner, refugee, we actually went through the legal channels of legal immigration. So, so as long as their parents, as long as you have somebody from your immediate family here in America who is a citizen, he can apply for visas for you in Cuba, and you can go through the proper channels of legal immigrations on both parties, Cuba and the United States. During that time, 1988, my grandfather had to put down $10,000 per person. All right. And in Cuba,
that's a lot of money for 1988.
That is a lot of money
now, but just imagine 1988.
40 grand, 40 grand back in 1988. That was a lot of money. And it's gone. Like, there's your money, gone. I mean, it's just giving it to the government. It's gone, man. Forget about it. You're not getting anything like that. You can't even put it on your taxes. And my family in Cuba had to put 6,000 pesos per head. So my grandmother ended up selling her house and using the money to put each of us to be able to come here. We came with nothing. We came with just the clothes on our back and that's it. Nothing else, man. And we came to America. We came to America immediately when we came to America. Just so you guys know some things about immigration and the Cuban situation at the time. We actually had a lot of opportunities, a lot of benefits, and there's a lot of benefits to immigrants come here through those channels. The United States of America does amazing things for immigrants to go through those channels. So they actually gave my father immediately a agreement that they were going to put us in a middle class home, in the middle neighborhood, all pay for 2 years, and medical benefits, the whole 9 yards. This is back in 1988. A lump sum of money per month. I don't know what an allotment, and they were going to provide us opportunities, jobs or whatever, right? So I mean, we were going to be taken care of, man. We didn't, if my father didn't want to work for that 1 year or 2 years, he didn't have to. But my father decided to waive that. And the guys are like telling him, "Are you sure you want to waive this?" Like, my father's like, "I didn't come here for handouts. I came here to work. I came here. I already got what I wanted. I came here for freedom." Those type of Cubans, they don't make them anymore, bro. Like, like even the Cubans that come today, they're a lot of hard workers and stuff. But they all get the same package, even more now today than they used to.
Bro, people
not just Cubans,
people that
bro,
were
like,
born here don't want to work. Put it out.
People just this generation just don't want to work.
Right. But but the United States have a really nice benefit package for individuals that come here. Even individuals that, even illegals that they have trying to give benefits like that, but they do have it for legal immigrants. And that's why you see a lot of people come from India and different countries, and rapidly they have own businesses, for some reason. You're wondering, how has this happened? Well, that's probably it. Why? Also, if my father at a 2-year mark, he would have said, "You know what? I want to extend those benefits." They would extend it for another 2 years, maybe 4 years. But anyways, my father waived all those benefits. He said, "I'm going to start work." He started working immediately. The following day, he had already a management position at a restaurant because he's an accountant. So he walked in a restaurant, they knew the family, whatever. And the guys told him, "Look, man, we're making all these." He's like, "You should be doing very well with the money, whatever." And my father, in about an hour, he looked at their account, their books, and he just said, "You're losing money. This is how you're losing money." Boom, 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 boom. And the guy's like, give him a job. But while he was doing that for them, taking care of their bookkeeping and all of that, he was cleaning toilets. So here's a guy, man, who's got a medical degree. He's been accounting. He's cleaning toilets, washing dishes, whatever he got to do. My mom was doing the same thing, man. She was cleaning houses, whatever. So anyways, immediately I was put in school. My little sister as well. The Cuban community, brought us with open arms, very close community, very close-knit community, because most of them were all communism survivors. So we all kind of knew each other from family members, et cetera, et cetera. They all had daughters. All of them had daughters. So I had no clothes on my back. My little sister, she got a bunch of good stuff. But I was the only male in the community at the time. So I got a bunch of hand-me-down clothes. Now in Cuba, we don't see, when I came from Cuba, we don't see material stuff like an American does. To us, jeans are jeans, tennis shoes are tennis shoes, T-shirts are T-shirts. It doesn't matter what they say. If they say something in English that, is girly, we don't care. It's a T-shirt. It's nice. It comes from America. That's all we care about. But in America, it's a different story. If you're not wearing certain brands and certain brands are for certain gender, then, you're going to either be judged by that, So my first day of school was very interesting. I was wearing a girl jeans with hearts on, and I did not know that. Well, I knew that, but I didn't know it was girl jeans. And everybody, I come to America, I had this thing about me. It just, I just love American people. I just, was things. So it was just like, wow, I'm in America. So like that movie American Me, that was me, man. I was like, wow, I'm in America.
That's how I feel every time I come south. Every time I come south, I am wowed.
Yeah. It's like
are you going to wear Jordache jeans for men?
Right.
I'll wear whatever I can to get across that border. I don't care. I'm just
Yeah.
happy to be there like he is.
So yeah, man. So it was just like, wow, it's just everything was wow. McDonald's, wow. The store, the grocery store was just like, wow.
Yeah,
Look
but
at those
I
many
want to hear
ice
more.
cream.
I want to hear more about your jeans. How did that work out for you?
Oh,
Well,
I bet you
I'm
want
trying to get
more
out of
about
that
the jeans.
story, man. But
I gave him an out on that one.
No.
So anyway, so I see all these kids, smiling at me. I'm thinking they're just being nice, and I'm smiling back. And this Cuban kid who was born here, Cuban second generation, he came to me. He says, "Bro, they're not laughing with you. They're laughing at you, and those are girl jeans, bro. You got, So they think you're gay, bro. I mean, that's so I was really upset, and I just left the school, and the school had to call my father. They thought something happened to me, and I ended up telling my parents that I was not gonna go back to school unless I got some new clothes, new jeans. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting experience. And there was various things like that to transitioning into the American way of life. It took me a long time for me to actually, just expunge everything. It took me a bit. But it was great, man. It was a roller coaster ride,
Well, before you continue, you were talking about the Cuban community over there in Miami. That's one thing that I see a lot with the Cuban community, though, that is completely different from, Puerto Ricans or Dominicans or anybody from any. Well, Mexicans got a kind of like similar system, but Cubans, they do have a big support system from when people arrive from Cuba and they have nothing. They have the community comes together and help each other out, and that is amazing. And I learned that when I was living in Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico there's a huge Cuban community over there. Right. And let me tell you, you can see like people show up. It's like, listen, we got this one apartment that I own. You don't have to pay rent for the next 3 months. By the way, so-and-so owns a restaurant. You can start working there. By the way, like they will place you and wait until you can take care of yourself, and then you're on your own. And what they expect you to do is like, you got to repay that back later when somebody else comes and needs help, and you can help them. You got to join us and do the same. And that is an amazing, like, they don't just, oh yeah, another Cuban. No, they just take care of you.
Yeah. But a lot of that has gone away because what happened, like I said, that's the old generation. The old generation was doing that. The new generation started coming in. They realized real quick that there were benefits. They found out real quick when they came in, there was a benefit package waiting for them. And they didn't want none of that. They didn't want to work. They want to say not. So it has not, I know for the last decade or 2 decades, that kind of has stopped.
Touching on what you're saying is that transitional thing, because it takes about 20 years to influence the next generation, because you got to get to them while they're in grade 3, and that's when they start to transition and grow. And then by the time they're adults of 20, you've influenced it, right? And we talked about that when I was doing stuff in Bosnia back in the day. And right now, touching on what you're saying about this changing of the community, we're noticing that even just where I live in this small town, the community has changed in the last year so much, because we're seeing more senior citizens take jobs at stores and grocery stores wearing masks and face shields, because the young generation is realizing, hey, I can stay home. And they get this thing called CERB from the government, where they're making $1,000 a week to just sit home and play video games against me and lose, and they don't have to work. And now senior citizens are going, oh, well, I can't beat Nate at Call of Duty, so I'm going to go take these jobs and make money and socialize and do that, because they come from that generation. So it's really sad to see that happen in the community, especially one that's displaced, like the Cubans being to another area, or like somebody surviving something so traumatic as communism, which I am not a fan of by any means and do not support. And I will officially say that right now. And I can see the flaws in communism, is when you're displaced from that and then you start to kind of fall back into those negative tendencies. Why'd you leave in the first place?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not like taking away from your story by no means, I hope, because I'm just echoing what you're saying now with that generational change. It's so hard to watch. And I hope that my kids, my spawn, never end up like that because it's so disheartening.
Yeah.
Anyways, off my soapbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so you went through all that, and then how did it come about that you decided you wanted to be a U.S. Marine?
You know, when I was leaving the Cuba, that was a good question, JB. When my uncle left, you know, my grandfather took my uncle. He was only 5 years old. My uncle joined the Marine Corps at 17, and he sent pictures back to Cuba. Other cousins had joined the Marine Corps as well. So we already knew that, you know, our family had, some of us had joined the Marine Corps. When I went to the American Embassy, we were leaving Cuba. We had to go do the paperwork. There was an American Marine, United States Marine, in his dress blues with an M16 in front of the door. And it was very, I got shocked. It made a big impression on me. And I looked at my father at the time and I said, hey, Dad, you know, can I be him? Can I be him when I get to America? And he looked at me and said, son, you can be whatever you want, America. And that stuck to me, you know. So when I got here, you know, I met my uncle, met my cousins, and they just, you know, I saw the pictures, the Marine Corps pictures. So, I couldn't wait to join the Marine Corps, you know. So I signed up early, age 16, graduated early high school. At the age of 16, I already signed the early waiver to go into the Marine Corps. And had my parents sign it. They didn't care. They were like, okay, you know, here, you know, take him. 17 years old, recruited immediately once I got my high school diploma. Recruiter came to pick me up and end up in Paris Island. Awesome experience, you know, great experience. You know, when I was there, I couldn't speak English. You probably, JP, you probably understand where I'm coming from.
I can still speak English, so
yeah,
yes, I
still,
understand,
you know,
where you're coming from.
we're having to, yeah, we're still assimilating to the English language, right? So yeah, and I was able to learn various levels of English in the military, which is incredible, right? So I learned Ebonics, you know, for chisel my rizzle, for hizzle, bizzle, you know, like I learned some Ebonics there, and I also learned some, you know, redneck stuff, you know. Yeah. You know, how you doing, boy? They're going in, doing the wrong way, doing like that, right? So
I'm fixing to.
You know, you damn Mexicans coming down here and, you know, making lowriders like cars are not supposed to be lowriders. Damn. Having sex with my cousins, shit. You know, I got Jose Pablo over here drinking my beer.
Ain't no Corona.
Yeah. So I you know, you picked up all these different accents, man, and amazing stuff. But when I went to the Marine Corps, I could not speak English, and I couldn't understand a lot of it. So I knew that was a weakness of myself. So I tried to stay sharp. Try to look good, try to make sure my camis were sharp, stay up all night, making sure my boots were spit shine till like you could actually see yourself in them. And the DIs and everybody looked, you know, saw that, you know, they saw that there was a motivated guy there that wanted to graduate, went to every settings of the Marine Corps boot camp, and I excelled in everyone, especially the rifle range. Rifle range, a qual expert, and I had one of the highest scores at the time. You know, one of those good stories I still remind today is my senior DI came by and gave me omelet, and his omelet. So only DIs will get omelets made. And I thought that was a test. I thought, you know, that was a test for myself. So I ended up refusing to eat it, which was not a good thing. Not in front of him, disrespecting the senior DI in front of all the recruits. So I was you know, what do you call it? Smoked outside, you know, outside the wall counseling. Yeah, until it was my time to shoot. And, you know, I still shot expert. I was meritoriously awarded private first class in boot camp. I went in as an open contract, private, whatever. So it was amazing stuff, man. I'll never forget it. Really good time. It's just so you know, if you guys, anybody here in Marines, there's three companies at the time. This is back in 1993. 3 companies at the time had not changed during this period, but there were 3 companies. It was 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Mighty Mike. 3rd Battalion was like get your ass beat type of battalion. You know what I'm saying? 1st Battalion was kind of like a drill instruct. What do you call it? A lot of formations, a lot of looking good and sharp and and walking the talk. Where the 3rd Mighty Mike, they had us all over there in the brick buildings, and now the brick buildings don't even exist. So if the DI beat that shit out of you, nobody will know, and nobody cared. So it was the tough, but I think that's where they sent all the crazies at. But anyways, I graduated there. Nobody went to see me in my graduation. My parents didn't have the money to see me, and I just packed my sea bag and ended up going to my next duty station, which is Camp Lejeune, MCT. I was open contract. I graduated there. They gave me communication school, 2531. When I went to Twin Palms, that's what comm school is for Marines, Twin Palms, California. They realized real quick I couldn't speak English.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah. So, man, and so therefore they had to change my MOS. And they were going to make me a cook. And I said to the Master Sergeant, which is a Puerto Rican guy, he's like, I'm not going to be a cook. I didn't come to the Marine Corps to be a cook. And there was nothing wrong with being a cook. Cook is a damn good MOS. I later realized that, cook was a really good MOS as well. And, and all the other MOSs as well. Everybody's needed, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. But me being gung-ho and, young and full of calm, I'm like, well, I want to be an 03. And he's like, well, what kind of 03 you want to be? And I said, 0311, because that's the only 03 I knew. You know what I'm saying? But I could have chosen any freaking 03 I wanted.
And you picked that one.
And I picked the 0311, man. So they're like, okay, sign up. Boom. And then they sent me to Camp Pendleton to go through Marine Corps boot camp. University of Infantry with the Camp Lejeune, the Hollywood Marines. So I went to infantry school with Hollywood Marines, graduated, and they sent me back to 29 Stumps again with 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines. And did 3 years there. Loved it, man. Did some good stuff. Got hurt in Bridgeport, California, rappelling. But I just kept sucking it up, kept going. Got promoted to corporal. Got a team in the squad. And when I got a team, got some new boots. One guy from Chicago who is still throwing gang signs and drawing gang symbols and whatnot. He got really stupid and just, I couldn't believe, man. It was like Twilight Zone, man. He was just talking back to platoon sergeant or whatever. So they told me to handle it, and the infantry, what that means, to handle it. So I was in charge of him. It was my, responsibility. So I went and handled him, and I handled him too hard. And I went to the Army to clean my rifle, and my gunny, I got a call from a gunny, and he just literally, ripped my asshole and told me that he was being pushed to give me an NJP. And he didn't want to because he didn't like grade. He didn't like grade, so he didn't want to lose a good Marine for a piece of shit Marine. Yeah. But anyway, so at that point, Gunny said, I'm gonna send you to the mail room. I saw that as a punishment, and I did not see, because you're young, I'm 20 years old. I just got promoted to corporal, man. I got my team, man. Everything I wanted was happening to me right now. And that's all I wanted to do. And now I'm in the mailroom, and they gave me, I was a staff NCO. So like I'm literally being promoted to a staff position in the mailroom, and they gave me an assistant, a private, to do everything. So I literally will go to work like 2 hours a day, and go to gym, whatever. I even ended up even getting a part-time job. So I'm a military active, and I got a part-time job as a bouncer at the E Club. So I mean, I just couldn't figure out what to do with myself, you know what I mean, at the time. But I hated it, you know. And when it was time for me to re-enlistment, you know, the captain's like, hey, in the headquarters. Here I'm in the headquarters, you know, of the battalion. And the guy's like, hey, we're going to give you a bonus. We're going to promote you to sergeant, you know, but you're going to have to stay in the mailroom. And I said, nope. And I just, you know, I did my 4 years and audible discharge, got my good cookie, and got the hell out. And, you know, till this day, I will look back as one of the biggest mistakes I ever did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, and it was a fast promoting MOS. So, like, if you went to the post office at the time, there was not one single sergeant in the post office. Every single person was a gunny, first sergeant, master sergeant, and they're all young. They were like 23, 24 years old. Every one of them was just, you know, high ranking everybody. You know, so you know, it is what it is, man. You know, you're young and full of calm. You don't have a lot of good advice, a lot of good mentors in your life. You know, not listening. People are not telling you. And that's one thing I always lacked in my life. I had to figure out through the school of hard knocks. I never had mentors, you know, for the most part. You know, my father, once we came to America, and my mom and my father got really focused on working, you know, working a lot. And I really never got to see them a lot. They could not understand what I was going through in school. They could not understand what I was going through in you know, in my world and in my little sister's world. So we kind of just like create our own experience. I don't know how I can explain it to you. So we didn't have, you know, we didn't have mentors. We didn't have people telling us, hey, you know, in high school, you could have tried for wrestling. You could have tried for baseball. You could have done this. You could have done that. You know, I would just go to school, get the grades, you know, so I missed a lot of opportunities because of that, you know, but you know, again, in the Marine Corps, you know, that was it. 4 years, boom, got out. And when I got out, 1997, I went to work for a local, immediately I went to work for a local club, Gator Club, which they made a movie from, as a bar back and as a bouncer as well. And then right after that, I ended up getting this great opportunity, walked into this recruiting firm, and they saw talent in me. They saw someone that could relate to people, talk to people, especially the Hispanic community, know me very well. And they gave me an opportunity as a recruiter. That recruiting position turned into a senior executive recruiter. And I was making the company about $3 million a year or more. And very successful. I was young, 24 years old, had my own, you know, beautiful house, pool, 3-bedroom, fireplace, the whole 9 yards. Had everything I wanted again. And then all of a sudden, you know, I started having, you know, transition problems. What you guys call transition problems. I think every veterans have a lot of that, right? So we come out, we're doing really well, or some of us do really well at the time, and then all of a sudden just hit us, boom. You know what I mean? It's just like a ton of brick. You got the face, you got this mask you're wearing this mask this whole time, and all of a sudden it just hits you like, what the hell is going on?
That's a lot of people think just because they first get out and they're doing great, that they're not having any problems. Right. No, you're just not admitting that you're having some problems, or right. that they might even show up later. And like you're saying, you were wearing a different mask, and you realize that's not you, you know? Right. So yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll be honest with you guys. You guys are giants to me. You guys are heroes to me. I didn't see no combat, not at all in my 4 years. I went to Qatar, Saudi Arabia. I smelled some burn pits there. That's about it. About a few months there. It was just training. And most of the time I was in Okinawa, Japan. You know what I mean? So, you know, I had a good time. The other time was just having a good time, you know, just getting laid and drinking and working out and having a good time. So nowhere and anywhere had the experience you guys have had. So when when I talk about stuff like this, you gotta have that guilt. Like, why did I have that transition problem? I didn't go through all that shit. I didn't have any combat experience like that. But when I got out, I couldn't relate to civilian. It got to that point where I just got sick of it, sick of dealing with civilians, sick of having to talk to them. I didn't want to talk to them anymore. I didn't want to deal with them. I didn't want to see them. And I just became a real asshole. And
That's Mike
so
every
much,
day.
yeah, and asshole so much that, I started to hurt people around me. Started hurting, people I love and my mom and, and different people. And it started to push people back because I didn't want to deal with the BS. And I started, deteriorating, hurting myself equally, at the same time, hurting my relationships. And my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, so now I'm losing everything. I walked out of that $106-figure job that I had, in the early 2000s, whatever. I walked right out of that job. Like, I didn't care that I was getting paid that much money. I didn't care. It didn't matter. I just walked right out. And and everything just came crashing, man. Lost everything. Lost relationship, and I was heartbroken. And it was that day, one time, man, I just tested my little sister and just letting her know that was it. And I have already shown signs, talked to her about what I was going through. And I already kind of told her that I was in these thoughts. But that day, that one day that I went just completely dark is basically, I told her, I said, this is it. I'm doing it, and she's cussing me out on the text messages and everything. And I went and, the VA, just when I got out, the VA had seen my medical records. They saw that I got hurt in Bridgeport, California. So immediately they sent me through MRIs, X-ray, whatnot. They saw that I had a back problem, different issues in my back, and they immediately gave me 50%. I didn't have to fight, like I know some veterans fight for it and have to go through it. I didn't have to do that. They just say, you have this, and this, and this. You got this option. We can send you to surgery, or we can give you this. And I was like, all right, I'll just take, So they give me the 50%, and a bunch of drugs with it. Bunch of drugs, like just a bunch. I still get a bunch of drugs. So all kinds of different medications, Laurel tabs. You name it, man. And this will, make your dick limp. This will, make you lose your hair. So this right here will make you nightmares. This right here will make you psychotic. This right here will do this. This right here will, make hair on your nails. Like all these different side effects and shit, but you got to take it. You got to take it because we're going to give you a urine test and we got to make sure you're taking it. So I was on medication. I was a lot of stuff that I was taking at the time. Anyways, when I went dark, I took one of those bottles that was supposed to be put me asleep. I was only supposed to take one. I took the whole bottle. So I woke up in the hospital, tubes inside of me, that pumped my shit out. And like 2 weeks later, I was Baker active. It was Baker active for about 2 weeks, and then they throw me out. But I had a German Shepherd. My German Shepherd was barking the whole time. My neighbors told me that the German Shepherd was barking, and that my little sister had called the cops. So so when I got out, my little, as a matter of fact, for me to get out for the 2 weeks, I had to call my little sister, and she had to get permission for me to get out without her calling. So, I was on the phone begging her, please go. She said, you're not going to do that again? I was like, no, I'm not going to do that again. Please don't call. Get me out of here. You know what I mean? So it was, but when I got out, man, she gave me an earful. She gave me an earful, man. She told me, that, all the things we have gone through in our lives, that this is it. This is what you're going to do to us. You're going to leave, you're going to leave our family behind. You're going to hurt us this way. This is how you think of us. And how selfish can you be? she gave me a big earful, and she says, I love you, I respect you so much, everything I did in my life, I always think about you. So every time I talk about this, man, I get hurt, because I love, I love my little sister a lot, and I miss her a lot, man. She's no longer with us, so I lost her a few years back. But yeah, I'll never forget that, man. And she was right. She was 100% right, man. I was taking the easy way out. I was being, and I know I was being selfish. I was being, a cow. I wouldn't say coward, but at the same time, I would say that, I was not thinking, really wasn't thinking. It was probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever done. And I was happy too that I got a second chance. Not too many people get a second chance.
No.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that was one of my questions I wanted to ask you. After you did what you did, then you realize how bad you hurt your sister, right? Did that hit you hard and you go like, man, I will never do that again?
Yeah. And that's exactly, even though me and my sister were 5 years apart, we were kind of like twins, in that sense of the word. We told each other everything, everything we were going through. I called her every day when I was in the military. I'll let her know. So she now, like, I feel like she's not here with me, and I feel like I'm missing something. I'm always missing that her. But yeah, she gave me some tough love. That's what I call tough love. She gave me some tough love and told me, a lot of things that I needed to hear. What I mean? And not everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody needs to hear things differently depending on their character. But me personally, I always relate to tough love. I always relate more to that tough love. So if I know you're a true friend and somebody cares about me, and you see me screwing up, I don't want you to hold my hand. You know what I'm saying? I want you to give me some slaps upside the head and tell me, hey, what the hell are you doing, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell are you doing? That's how I relate more to that. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's, so. But
yeah, I think that the last time we were talking about this, I think I was telling you guys a story about a buddy of mine, because like you said, everybody's different. So you need to know who you're talking to and how you're going to deal with that specific person, right? So a buddy of mine was sitting in a car in a parking lot, and he was ready to commit suicide, right? He got his gun, he's ready to commit suicide. And right when he's going to pull the trigger, basically a phone call comes in. It's another friend of his that calls. And he literally answered the phone. And he said, "What's up, buddy?" He goes like, "Hey, man, what you doing?" He's like, "I'm about to blow my brains out." So, of course, his friends started laughing because he thought he was joking. And so he goes, "I'm about to blow my brains out." And he's like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like, "Yeah, bro. So hurry up, because this is the last time you're going to hear about me." So, of course, his buddy gave him some tough love, but it was different. It was like, we're military guys. We got different sense of humor and different ways that we deal with stuff. And his buddy basically told him, it's like, "Oh, fuck no, you're not doing that inside the car. That's a super nice car. And when you're gone, I want your car. So yeah, please, I don't want to have to clean up." It's like, so if you're going to do that, step outside of your car and then do it. But do not do it inside the car, because I don't want to have to clean that up, because I want that car. And he said he started laughing so hard that he put the gun down. He's like, "You're an asshole." And he goes like, "I know." He's like, "Now come and meet me. Let's have some drinks." And that's what he did. He totally forgot what he was there for.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do, Yeah, and it's good to do that, to be able to do that. I mean, to be able to, to talk to one another and have that kind of connection with each other. To know each other that way, to be able to say things that we can connect with. You know what I'm saying? Especially humor. That's
and humor that's so direct and cuts right to our soul.
Right.
That's the trick.
Veterans have like this connection with dark humor for some reason. We relate to it. What I mean? It's how we fight our demons and whatnot. Civilians cannot understand that for some, no matter how you try to, explain that to them, they cannot understand our humor whatsoever.
No, they don't. And you know what? You mentioned something that is really important to cover, and I was talking to Mike actually the other day about. Actually, we were talking about it the other day, and it's the medication. It's like, the VA piles so much medication, and they're like, you got to take this, you got to take that, you got to take that, and they don't even realize that they're hurting you. And Mike made a good point when he said, you got different specialists that don't talk to each other, and they're giving you all this medication that actually got adverse reaction with one another. And then next thing you know, you're here like a zombie and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. It's big pharma is a big problem in the VA system. And it's one of the reasons why we lose a lot of guys. It's been a big problem. And here's, you have to question, we never get to the bottom of it, because we don't give the tough questions. Tough questions is, why is big pharma lobbies the VA? How much control does the big pharma has on the VA, right? Just like in our military. So they used us as guinea pigs in our military, pumping us with shit that we didn't even know. Absolutely. And now when we get out, they pump us up with some more shit, we don't even know. Sometimes, try this. How about try this? That did not work? How about this? Try this. This is new stuff. This just came out. You know what I mean? I heard some real good things about it, but you should try it. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might have some side effects, like this and that and that and that, but don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Let me know if it doesn't work out. Go ahead, Mike.
My favorite was when they gave me something, and it was like 50 milligrams of X medication. I'm not going to say what it is. Took it for a little bit.
It was blue.
Yeah, no. Anyways, I was like, it's not working for me. I'm a zombie every day. So I go back and I say, hey, this isn't working. It's like, well, let's bump this up to 100 milligrams, see if it helps. I'm like, you're not fucking listening to me. It's not working. It's not what I want. So what's adding more to it's going to make me worse.
Right.
I can't stand that shit.
Right. So it's a big problem in our military. We don't, in the VA doesn't, here's the thing too, going back to what we were talking about before. You got to look how the VA works, right? The VA has a cap. They're funded. They got money, right? So they got to manage that budget, whatever that budget is. They got 200,000 employees. 200,000 employees, right? So they got a cap on that money that they got to be able to spend. And that cap is 30%. When you go to the VA, all the doctors and everybody, they're not out to help you. They're out to figure out if you're that 1% of veterans trying to screw the system. That's all they're trying to find out. The whole VA system is to figure out if you are trying to rape the system. That's it.
That's exactly it. It's the same here in Canada. Man. It's the same 30%. Fucking thing here in Canada.
If you get lucky and you get to that 30% every year, through that 30% cap, all right, you get your compensation, or whatever, you get help, you get whatever you may get. Boom, you hit the lottery. Boom, all right? If you did not get it, this is what happens. That's why they tell you when you're doing your compensation claims, you keep trying. You keep trying, not because your shit is not good. It's because you keep trying to get through that 30%. Hopefully next year you get through it. Boom, woo, you made the lottery, right? So this is we go back. We had that conversation, is that we veterans as a community, man, I'm telling you, man, we fail each other every single day, because if we actually knew how many of ours have died through the system, we will be taking out the system right now. Everybody of us will be in full gear, ready to rock and roll, man, because I'm telling you right now, I mean, I give you these figures, and I told you that last time. 2 million died from Agent Orange. We're not talking about Gulf War. We're not going to talk about Camp Lejeune. We're not going to talk about the drinking war. We're not talking about uranium, Clorox, and all these other shit. I'm going to give you a new one right now. Burn pits. So now burn pits is coming out. Burn pits is on the table. It's been on the table for about 5 years. We got people now showing signs of blisters on their skin, lung, tearing up lung, cancer, all kinds of problems. But guess what? Nobody's getting compensated yet. No. You need to go to a website and put your information there. There's people dying, literally freaking dying in hospitals. They're not getting any compensation at all. because the government has not yet, signed off and said, that you deserve it. You've been exposed to it. They know you've been exposed to it, but they have to have the last say on, do you deserve it? I'm gonna give you another one. The guys, the one recent one. Look how long it took them. Vietnam veterans, right, that were in the Navy ships that were exposed to Agent Orange. Okay, in the Navy ships that the when the Navy ships where the planes took off with the chemical. All right, these guys just got signed off on the compensation last year. Last year, bro. How many years they waited? How many had to die before finally getting compensated for something that should have been done in written law? So this is so I mean I'm sorry if I get so excited.
No,
about
absolutely.
this. I'm sorry I get all this. Let me finish one last thing. I'll let you. I get so like this, bro. Uncle Sam has got a children. If one thing I'm gonna guys tell you here and to everybody who's listening to this show, Uncle Sam has got a children was the one responsible to expose the VA scandal in Arizona. It was us. We did that. Not Fox News, not Breitbart, not nobody. And how I did it? I'm going to explain to you. One guy one of the sons of one of the Vietnam veterans reached out to us and told us what had happened to his father. I mean, in detail, from step to step, pictures of him dying as he literally died. And we wrote the article and we exposed it, and Fox News picked it up and interviewed that son and put him in. That interview, I wish I could find the video again. That interview that he did with his son, he's wearing an Uncle Sam Has Got a Children t-shirt that says, when guns are outlaw, I'll be an outlaw. He says, bro, I'm wearing your t-shirt right now, man. And that's how we were able to expose the VA scandal in Arizona. So if one thing I could die tomorrow, literally die tomorrow, bro. Like, I'll be fine. I'll be literally just fine as hell. Because you know what? We done some amazing thing to do something that other people have never done.
We got to do this again, Tank, because I want to expand on what we're talking again. So maybe a few episodes from now, we can come back together and do at least a mini episode to where we can cover what we're talking about right now, because I think there's so much more we can talk about this and other stories that we can share and help other people. Hey, before we leave, Tank, tell us about Uncle Sam's Nation podcast and your apparel company. That way everybody knows what you're all about and they can find you.
All right, guys, go to UncleSamHasGotAChildren.com, sign up to our newsletter, and just buy some swag, man. Support the brand now more than ever, because we just lost our big page. We're always being censored. We have lost 7 pages since 2009. I am actually lawyer up right now, and I actually have a claim. We're having a claim being built against Facebook for we're basically they're biased every single time there's an election. They push their bias and they censor me every single time. I'm a real minority, so I'm gonna play that minority card because I'm a Taino, just like JP, born on the island, percentile, yep, and 1%, Marine veteran, immigrant. So you can't get more minority than I am. I don't care who whatever.
Well, it depends if you're wearing those girls' jeans, right?
Hey, that makes me more of a minority,
right?
Okay? Yeah,
That's
that makes
right.
me more of a minority. LGBTQ.
That's
all right, LGBTQ.
It's ma'am. It's
yeah,
ma'am.
that's right. That's right.
All right.
Don't get confused.
I need to speak to the manager.
Hey, what's the Instagram, Tank? What's the Instagram now?
Instagram is Uncle Sam's Nation.
All right.
Instagram, Uncle Sam's Nation. That's my personal right now. They're attacking it right now, man. They're reporting the post. So
if you're listening to this podcast, get on there, support Tank, get on Uncle Sam's Nation on Instagram, follow him. So I guess undoubtedly when it gets freaking pulled off again, he starts a new page, you guys can pick up and support him.
thank you, bud. Thank you.
That's right. And if whenever your new page comes up, if they unblog or whatever, let us know, and then we'll make sure we announce it. We don't have as many followers as you, but if you can gain 1 or 2 from our posts, that's 1 or 2 that goes that way, man. Before we leave, I want to make sure that we send a good shout out to some of the foundations.
Dear
that we
friends
support.
and family.
What?
This is the time where JP sends out some deep, deep loving to his friends and family that are not with him right now, but we're thinking of you deeply, dearly, and with the deep cockles of our hearts. Take it away, JP.
No, we want to send a shout out to the Special Forces Foundation and the Green Beret Foundation. They do great stuff for Green Berets and their families. So please check them out and support them if you can. Warriors on the Fly, Destiny Rescue, their human trafficking recovery nonprofit, and Special Forces Shield Maidens. We want to thank all those for all the great work that they do. And Tank, if you want to send any shout outs to anybody or any organization or anybody in specific, this is your time, brother.
All right. I want to give a shout out to all you badass motherfuckers out there who served our country proudly. Lift up your heads, man. All right. We got a beautiful country and we got to stay united. All right.
That's right.
God bless America.
God bless America. And if you guys are out there, you're veterans, I just remember one thing: support each other. I know there's a lot of business out there, a lot of competition, this and that. Don't compete against each other. Support each other and build each other. That way, we need to stay together. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys listening to the show. We hope that your Tank's stories and his struggles and what we all discuss here can help you at some point. And if it doesn't help you, please share it with others. Maybe it can help other people. The struggles are real. Mike have talked about it before in the show about his struggles. Nate have talked about it. I have struggled myself. So we feel you. Just understand that if you're out there, man, you're not alone. You got other people you can reach out, man. I guarantee you reach out to Mike, you reach out to Nate, you reach out to Tank. They're going to respond. All right. So please let us know. And if you got any stories that you want to share and you can change names or take out the names or whatever, please send them to VTSR@protonmail.com. And we can read your story in our show. And if something that somebody can take away from that, that will be great. And we really appreciate you sharing your stories with us. So without that, hey, Mike, you got anything else you want to share with everyone?
No, I'm just, Tank's got me thinking now. So, I mean, my brain's just turning right now. So, yeah, not at the moment.
All right.
Give it to Nate so he can spend the next 20 minutes talking.
Nate, anything else you want to share?
Actually, I'm going to be short and brief on this because this closet here in Mike's hotel room is starting to stink up, and I'm getting claustrophobic.
My dirty clothes is in there.
Yeah, exactly. So the biggest thing is reach out to each other. And like Tank said, if we actually organized, the government would be fearful because we would be an unstoppable force. We would be like an army unto ourselves.
That is totally true.
It blew your mind, didn't it?
It was so short. I was like, is he done?
Well, yeah, I thought
that's what she said.
You normally got like long stories, and I was like, "Is he done? Yeah, what's up?"
That's why there was that long pause, like waiting for the next.
He's getting better. He's getting better. Anyway, hey, Tank, thank you so much for being in the show. I know we had technical difficulties when we tried to record this prior to that, and you just came back from doing BJJ and all that good stuff, and make time for us. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for being with us. We love you. You know that. We love you, man. Anytime.
Love you too, guys, man. Love you too, man.
Yeah, reach out to us. And if you're out there and you're struggling, whatever you do, just remember, reach out to someone. Don't go on patrol by yourself. Always take a buddy with you. And do not, I say again, do not cash out. Take it away, Nate.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and veterans of all calibers and MOSs, even if you're a 311. We thank you for your service, and don't cash out. Please pay attention to the following message from JP on the way out, and pick up your sea bag. Thank you to our main sponsors, Nous Appliance Group LLC, Uptown Auto Glass, and A-Tacs Camo.
Dad asked you have a plan. He said I do. Gonna go protect this land. land. This song is for you, young girl. Could have been anything in the world, but she chose to serve. Gave her life such a sacrifice. This song